since we sent our Slant 6 out to the machine shop. But it didn't make it back. The machine shop found too many things wrong with it, and it was just flat out unusable. So we're going to go ahead and move forward with this one. Before we start assembling it, a few coats of Duplicolor ceramic engine enamel in Chrysler Red were in order.
The original crank had a crack in the radius of the rod journal on cylinder number 1, which is automatic grounds for replacement. Since our plan is to have a street-friendly Slant 6 with excellent drivability, a forged crank would be overkill for the application. So a cast crank like this one will be plenty strong enough for the RPM and power we're going to make.
Matching rods were also needed for that cast crank. That's due to the big end being narrower. Now on the forged crank, it was a lot wider, but they do share the same center-to-center lengths. The early model block had 3 freeze plugs on the side of it. This one is a later version and has 5. Dimensionally, there are no differences.
The ingredients for this build are all affordable bolt-on parts you can buy through Summit Racing. Names like Comp Cams, Edelbrock, Pioneer, Hooker, and Offenhauser will help us make more power. Even though it's fresh from the machine shop, it's always proper engine building practice to check your tolerances. Since it's not a high-tech racing engine, these measurements will be a little more forgiving. First, we're going to check the main bearings. Our replacement crank cleaned up at 10 thousandths undersize on the mains. I'll use a 2 to 3 mic to lock in the exact size of the journal. Now the number 1 main can be filled with a bearing and torqued into place. I'll set the dial bore gauge up using the mic and check the torqued mains to measure the clearance. I'll repeat this for the other 3 mains as well. Don't ever assume things will always be right. OEM stuff also has a larger window of acceptable clearances for bearings, unlike a true race engine. All the rod journals get measured next, and the same procedure is used to check oil clearance for the rod bearings. I'll torque the rods in a special vise and then use the dial bore gauge to check all their clearances. If you've never done this before, here's some interesting info you should know. The factory bearing clearances for a Slant 6 on both the main and rod bearings ranges from 2 10,000ths to 22 10,000ths. That's a 2 thousandths range, which is huge by machining standards. Ours are coming in almost dead in the middle, which is right what we want. The rear main seal I'm putting in is something special available from Fast Fish Auto Parts. Hemi specialist Jeff Gunther created this seal to fix the age-old problem of the leaky rear main seal on big block Mopars. Since this slanty shares the same main journal size as a Hemi, it's a fantastic upgrade. Follow the instructions to a T and you'll have no issues. Finally, it's time to lay the crank in. Royal Purple Max Tough Lube is put on the bearings, and 80+ pounds worth of iron is set in its place. The seal gets a dab of RTV and is rotated so the parting line is inside the block.